I think the confusion is people think we're actually doing this evil versus good, but when it's in fact a pretty immoral or amoral sort of universe that we're creating, where it's more about how you can get the upper hand on the corporations that exist at the moment to surpass them and take over. And if you want to do that in a moral way, you can. If you want to sort of raise the masses and free them from tyranny, you can do that. But if you want to subvert them or manipulate them or literally use them as weapons or meat shields to take out the corpse, then you've got that option as well. So it's more open-ended than that.
Look, I had that foot there. Right? That's the bad foot. This is the good foot. This one's allowed.
You're never going to see my face.
On you go.
Yes.
So the good versus evil, this has come about because of the way that we portray the resistance as,
Yep.
it comes up as
Yep.
resist and revolt, and
Yep.
it makes it seem like you're freedom fighters that are going to free the population.
Yep.
And that's not necessarily the case.
One
Maybe you
option.
are.
Yep.
Maybe you're going to free the population. Maybe you're just using them as meat shields and you're going to actually be killing as many civilians as possible, and you're just replacing the corporations as an alternative evil dictator.
I mean, the objective is to take down the corporations, but that's like they've got power. You don't want them to have power, and it's either because you want to free people or because you want it for yourself. But it's the same objective either way, I guess.
Yeah. The objective is to overthrow the big evil corporation.
Yeah,
The big corporation that's in control at the moment.
I mean, even calling them an evil corporation, it's not necessary.
No more or less evil than you are.
Potentially.
Could be.
Yeah.
Be. Yeah. So, I mean, the only correlation again to that sort of power struggle, the typical power struggle of good and evil, is that they are the haves, and at the moment you are the have-nots. But you're not necessarily trying to give all that money and give it to other people. But like that guy, one of the backers said, it's like, you can either be Robin Hood or you can be Robin the Hoods. Which is
that sounds so ghetto when you say it.
It does sound pretty ghetto,
sounds really
but
ghetto.
it sounds like it sums it up quite well.
Yeah, it is a really good analogy for what you actually can do in the game. There's a bunch of corpse soldiers harassing a stall sort of merchant or something, like a guy just selling like ramen noodles on the side of the road for money, and you can either ignore that and just keep going, or use that to your advantage and sort of go, well, at this point I'm going to come across as altruistic, and I'm going to go and smack down the corpse, and that guy's going to give me some influence because he's like, wow, these guys are great, they look after us. Then an hour later you can come back and rough them up yourself.
Well, you don't have to wait now. You can just kill the corpse and then turn around and shoot the guy in the head and steal his money.
Give me all your noodles.
You get these options of making moment by moment choices, and they can come across as good or come across as evil, but they'll all change up. I mean, you may change your mind through your progress of the game and go, well, I actually went down this route, and initially it was giving me everything I needed, but I'm at this sort of level now, and I've got a bit of power, and the power's gotten to me.
Now it's time to start
Now I
swinging
want to
that
start,
power
I want
around.
to start swinging around.
Power's
yeah.
gone to my head.
Yeah, exactly. And you can do that, and that's the cool thing, I think, from the baseline of what we sort of want to do with the game.
Yeah, you're not necessarily playing as the Rebel Alliance, or as what's the opposite, the Empire.
Yeah, the new empire.
Yeah.
You're not just taking on the corporations, you're taking on the purveyors of noodles.
Yes. Down with ramen.
No, just give me
ramen.
I like ramen. Give me your ramen.
No, I'm saving the ramen guy.
Yeah.
Mind control. People are asking about mind control.
Yep.
First question is, are we allowed to say Persuadatron?
No.
You said minigun earlier.
Minigun's alright.
Yeah, okay, so...
Persuadatron is the... I don't know.
It's an
No, well,
example.
that's not our weapon. We're not
We're
doing...
We're not. We won't have a Persuadatron.
That sounds like a
We're
ludicrous
having,
gun.
having mind control gun.
Well, there's no mind controlling gun at all. It's
No.
the hacker is just hacking into their neural implants via Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So
They're effectively
possibly-
hijacking their brain. So being able to manipulate what would be used for,
they go.
when you squeeze
Stop using that.
Well, what's supposed to
What are you?
I'll just do that periodically throughout the video.
Just missed us.
Don't mind me.
You're looking a little dry.
Classic.
Anyway, ours is about manipulating the inbuilt wet wiring that these people have for their everyday uses. Like they might jack in to sort of watch TV or play a VR game or whatever they're doing. You know, it's the Oculus Rift 10,000 inside their head. And it's like we can jack into that, change the programming to suit our sort of needs, and the hacker itself can actually manipulate that based on, you know, whatever stats they've got, whatever sort of
it's something that'll be scalable.
yeah, the tech tree that they happen to have.
At the very start of the game, you're not gonna have 50
No,
civilians.
So you start the game
Burst with it.
most probably with the ability to take
rats.
have rats.
You know, every game has to start with hitting
rats.
a rat or hacking
So,
something.
yeah, doing an MMO. It's going to go and bring me 12
What kind
rat
of a rat
pellets.
can afford to have?
Neural
It's the
implant.
future, man. They're just born wet white.
Yeah, so you'd start off with the hacker being able to maybe just do one, or like hijack one civilian or something like that, or maybe a couple or something like that. But we'll sort that out when we actually start. And effectively, either they'll just follow you around, or you can like you'll get maybe another icon or something where you can tell them to move to a certain position or something like that. So all of the guys under your control will do the same thing. So if you start with only one or two guys that you control, and as you upgrade the hacker to get more and more guys, you can maybe start getting some of the corporate soldiers on as well, or just more civilians, and then you say tell them all to go to a certain point where maybe the enemies are, and they'll all just swarm over there. Hand them a few grenades before they go over, and they'll just run over there, and once they're out of their Wi-Fi range that you were talking about earlier, they just freak out. What the hell are they doing? Drop all the grenades and blow themselves up.
So I was thinking, I mean, at the really early tiers, they're effectively just mimics. They just follow you around.
Yeah,
they do what you do. If you walk over here, they'll walk with you. If something comes into a range of influence of you that would want to attack you, they feel the aggression.
They'll
draw
attack
fire
on your behalf.
Yeah.
But even at that early point, they're still useful to you because they're just like, even if they're just milling around you, they're a meat shield. So they're just like soaking up
Bullet
bullets
sponge.
and laser fire.
The
They're
glorious
dropping
meat
like
shield.
flies around you, and you can be getting more of them hacked in.
Shielding you from harm.
Yep.
But I mean, there's lots of different ways that we can use it. We can obviously be really aggressive with it, and you literally grab them, you tell them what you want to do, or the limits to how we actually play that out. It's going to come down to balancing and everything. But, you know, it could be, I'm going to tell this guy to go over there and attack this guy. But you could also say, I'm going to tell this guy, or this group of people, to go over there and cause a ruckus that will actually divert attention so that you can sneak in another area. Like, I really like the idea of having effectively a riot on your hands.
Yeah.
And you're just running down the street, and like there's a group of soldiers at the end of the street that you just will not be able to get past. But if you just send these guys down, you can run past after them, and they sort of distract, and they're getting shot at and everything. And
You wouldn't even
sneak
necessarily
around.
have to control an entire group of people to do that either. You could just control one or two people to go up and, I don't know, start hitting the soldiers, and then they'll hit them back, and other people might see that and go, oh, and start a little riot.
Cause a
Everyone
little
else,
riot.
flip a car or a table, table flipping.
It's really easy to do the same mechanic as well, because the right click to shoot or whatever, it's just like, I'm unarmed, I'll just run crazily, mind controlled at the enemy, and I'll be mowed down. In the meantime, that gives the agents a chance to go and do their thing. Well, the whole crowd is just running down the street,
And
screaming like crazy.
you use it for something really important, or if you just want to hack an ATM and you just can't be bothered having to worry about it. I'm going to get these
There's
five
corporate
guys.
soldiers.
And just
There's
run
one
down
guy
there.
over there, and I just want him out of the way. You send a mob of 20 guys. Like, just harass him for a bit.
Maybe you go, I'll mind control you to the ATM to use your ATM card.
Take your money out.
Now I'll kill you. Because now you've got your money out.
Actually, that's hilarious. Yes, we're definitely doing that. That sounds cool.
More info on combat. I guess we would elaborate on the classes.
Combat, yes.
Well, we had the question that was asked about, would it be possible to play through the entire game using only like infiltration, covert, propaganda tactics? Would you be able to avoid open warfare in the streets?
The aside to that was someone also asked, and could you do the flip side of that and just not do any of the espionage and just become tanks effectively, run throughout the street, killing everything?
I don't think you're going to be able to completely avoid any type of gunfighting and shooting in the streets. You definitely could spend all your time just running around with your guns out shooting stuff. But
See, I think you might be able to.
Well, it
do the
depends on what
infiltration?
because combat for us isn't just going to be shooting a gun.
Yeah.
Combat is like, as far as I'm concerned, anyway, with all the mind control stuff we were just talking about, like that's part of your combat.
Yeah. So you could say in theory
Be removed from the combat, but still be fighting.
There's still some sort of combat going on. So, for example, if you get to a gate, like one of the big gates moving on to the next section, and you're going down the combat route, you just send all of your guys, set them up where you needed to set them up, and just start shooting and going crazy and throwing grenades and whatever weapons you've got at the time. So that's fairly straightforward and obvious. If you wanted to do completely the other way, maybe you've got your hacker that can mind control guys, and you get them to run over and cause a distraction. And then while you're doing that, your assassin sneaks up, and there's only like 2 guards that are left, and you quickly take them down, and you have killed guys, and you're moving through the world, but you're not just having massive firefights and battles in the streets. You're quickly and surgically removing the obstacles in your way so that you can get past.
Because
So
that's
that
another thing I've heard people saying is they're worried about, because in the original games, as you were saying, that it's something that you feel that it was a missed opportunity there, or a bit of a shortcoming, is that everyone just give everyone miniguns, select everyone, and just mow through it. Or
Well, that was the whole issue of introducing the different classes so that you don't just gather everyone together as a big tank.
Yeah, so now we have the 4 different classes: the soldier, support, assassin, and the hacker. So they're on the scale of pure combat to more of the espionage side of things. So the soldier's more of a combat guy. You're going to give him the big armor and the big guns, and he's going to be up the front. And the support will be behind him, and then the assassin and the hacker will be down the other end, where he's more about hacking into terminals and shutting down power grids and doing all the little subversive things, breaking into banks and stuff like that. But on top of that, you'll have, with the weapons and gear and upgrades and stuff that you're going to be able to customize those guys so that if you do want to play more of the combat side of things, you can get your hacker to have upgrades and stuff that'll push him more that side. So the hacker can get, like, say a combat drone that follows him around that shoots, or a shield drone that'll give him and maybe the guys around him buffs for defensive buffs. And then you can do the other way, where maybe the soldier has an upgrade that's intimidation. So that he can, as you go around and you're trying to bribe people, if you want to go down the other side, he can be the one that does the bribing, and you'll be paying half price or something effectively. So he's the one roughing them up.
Charisma.
Yeah, charisma.
I'd have thought walking around with a great big rocket launcher is probably quite intimidating anyway.
So this is extra intimidation on top of that.
Plus 25% to intimidation.
but that's the thing. The combat in general, regardless of which way you're going to go, there's not really going to be a point where you can just get all of you guys together, even high level, all your skills or whatever, and just mow everyone down.
No,
we want to have it so that
you're going to need to use your guys and their each of their abilities. Like the stealth guy is the assassin, is gonna have the stealth ability. So you are going to want to have him go into stealth and move around behind someone and take them out with an instant kill, while your hacker maybe hacks into a mech or something that comes out and disables it for maybe a second or 2 seconds, but that gives you more time for your support guy to lay down some shields, and the soldier runs up and he can start throwing grenades, and you'll be having those constant options of this guy needs to do this so that he can do this, and it gives you a lot more it makes it a lot more interesting, and you'll have a lot more interesting scenarios rather than just having all my guys shoot that guy.
9 times out of 10 everyone go and shoot this guy. You're not going to get through that.
Yeah, you'll come across a patrol and you'll go, okay, I need to think on my feet now. Do I want to avoid these people? Or look, there's bollards there that I can get the hacker to pull up and trap these guys in an area. There's a guy over there who I can snipe really quickly. I've got enough stuff, and there's a funnel here that they'll only be able to get 3 or 4 guys at a time. So I think I can probably take them out. So
And that's the other thing, because
all
of
run and get around
Yeah.
here.
and because
Hide in the island.
because of this city simulation, it's like combat isn't just contained to that one area.
No.
No.
Yeah, you're gonna.
If you start
they're gonna
combat
call in
there,
reinforcements.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Again, based on your influence and stuff as well.
And yeah, how serious the conflict is, how serious the simulation has judged that conflict to be. So you'll want to like use the environment to your advantage in ways that I want to take these guys out and minimize the amount of
The
traffic,
chance
the chance of other people.
So if there's,
to
if there's like
contain
a CCTV cameras there, as soon as you start fighting in front of
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
that's going to go, and then reinforcements are going to get called and come to your
Straight
position.
away, yeah.
Or if you're in the middle of a fight, one of the guards might just step to the side and he starts calling reinforcements. And at that point, you need to get somebody to take him out or knock him down or disable him so that he's not calling more guys in.
And I think that's the strategy. It's like being able to look at a situation which will be dynamic, or as dynamic as we can make it, and go, okay, I've got seconds to figure out what I want to do here. Do I want to try and do something, or do I just want to avoid this? Think about it, like run off, think about it, come back and try and see if I can resolve it, or just move along and get out somewhere else.
Because
Especially if you've got a goal that you were trying to reach. Like I'm trying to get over here and do something, and bloody hell, there's a bottleneck of
A
thing.
corporate patrol
Yeah,
seems
it's
to
like-
walk by at
Yeah.
the worst possible moment.
Yeah.
See, for me, I want when the player's going to engage in a big operation and they know sort of the area it's going to be in. I want them to kind of have some pre-planning.
Yeah,
They're looking at where's my exit points, where's the points where reinforcements could come in. Perhaps they're going to be putting down some mines down where a mech could be coming in from.
Yeah.
But it's like the classic thing of no plan survives first contact with the enemy. Like they'll lay all this
Set your
up,
mines
and then the
down.
next thing they know, there's flying drones coming in over the rooftops, and they haven't put anything. They've got no contingency for that, and they're having to get the hell out. And the sniper's having to snipe airborne drones while your assassin's trying to help out your soldier. And
Well, I
so
mean,
it's
Yeah.
that's another good example of why the 4 different classes actually works out much better than just having 4 of the same guys. You're sort of limited by what you can do. You can, if they are all just hackers, you've only got this hacking way of doing something. If they are just run and gun, fighters, you've only got that way of doing it. Whereas we can literally go, okay, I'm just going to send my assassin in, stealth out, and case the place, figure it all out. Then the hacker's going to go to that part. Well, I'm off 2 screens over here, going in this back door as this guy. The support guy's set up doing something here, and it's like a tactical operation that you just go, okay, and now instigate, and it works. Or you've stuffed up completely.
It might work.
And you're all
Oh, you
annihilated,
go,
and it's like,
instigate!
well,
Oh shit, the alarms have gone off, we're all gonna die!
we forgot to shoot out the CCTV camera.
This guy just walked in front of us at the last minute and freaked out, and alarms went ring.
It would be cool to be, you try and do it as stealthily as possible. In fact, some people will succeed, and then some will have, I forgot to do that thing, and the whole thing just kicked off. And there was, I went from stealth to absolutely manic, drones everywhere, mechs coming in, but I still managed to just scrape through and get out of there.
And that's part of the
Made a
whole
big mistake.
simulated city. That's part of the whole simulated city thing that we're talking about too. So that none of those events are going to be, none of that's going to be scripted. We're going to have areas where we kind of define that they need to be defended for whatever reason. If it's a facility where you
defense
can
rating,
you can steal augmentations or weapons or something from this facility, and we'll kind of flag that as being a defend this zone, and the corporations will depending on your level and what equipment you might have, or how long it's been since you've had a big confrontation, they'll have different amounts of enemies there. And then if you do manage to set off an alarm because you've tried to hack into something and it didn't work and you had too low a level, or if you've shot someone in front of a CCTV camera and didn't realize it was there and they're calling in reinforcements, and there's all these different things that none of them will be scripted, so that the reaction that's going to happen is going to be different each and every time, and everyone's going to have some crazy experience, hopefully, that we didn't even anticipate.
I'm Mike Diskin. I'm a grumpy old man. I don't have any hair. What did he say?
Testing, saying important things. My stomach is not exposed. How's that?
Wonderful.
I'm happy.